Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to our ISKCON Vola official YouTube channel. Today I am going to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam 10th Canto, 16th chapter, text 31 onwards. Krishnasya Garbha Jagato Ativaravasanam Pasni Prahara Parirugna Panatapatram Dushtva him adyam upasedur amusya patniya artaha sratat vasana bhusana kesabandha. When Kaliya's wives saw how the serpent had become so fatigued from the excessive weight of Lord Krishna, who Lord Krishna only 6 to 7 years old, like that, but excessive weight, who carries the entire universe in his abdomen, and how Kaliya's umbrella-like hoods had been shattered by the striking of Krishna's heels, they felt great distress. With their clothing, ornaments, and hair scattered in disarray, they then approached the eternal personality of Godhead. So in the purport, disciples of Srila Prabhupada Maharaj, quoting from Vishnu Chakravarti, say that Kaliya's wives had been disgusted with their husband because of his demoniac activities. They had been thinking, if this atheist is killed by the punishment of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then let him be killed. We will become widows and engage in the worship of the Supreme Lord. But then the ladies noticed Kaliya's facial expression and other bodily features, and they understood that Kaliya had indeed taken shelter of the Lord within his mind. Seeing that he was manifesting such symptoms of humility, remorse, great, and doubt, they thought, just see how fortunate we are. Our husband has now become a Vaishnava, therefore we must now endeavor to protect him. They felt affection for their repentant husband and severe distress because of his miserable position, and thus all together they went into the presence of the Supreme Lord. Sorry. So, sorry. In the purport, Srila Sanatana Goswami says that though the Lord was pleased with his surrender, in order to show the greatness of his wives, in order to give special mercy to the wives of Kaliya, Krishna didn't give up his position on Kaliya. Jaya Dvija Patni Jaya Nagakanya Gana. They are celebrated as the great devotees of the Lord. The wives showed complete surrender more than their surrender to their husband, because they knew the true position of the Lord that is expressed in two verses. Sorry. Since his hoods, which are like umbrellas, were broken, Kaliya's external beauty was destroyed. They came to the side of the Lord in great distress. Their clothing and hair were disarrayed. This indicates their pitiful conditions. So, in verse 32 it is said that tastam subhigna manaso atha puraskritrarva kayam nidhaya bhuvi bhutapatim pranimo sadhva kritanjali kutaha samalasya bhartro mukhyepsava saranam prapannaha. That means their minds very much disturbed. Those saint ladies placed their children before them and then bowed down to the Lord of all creatures, laying their bodies flat upon the ground. They desired the liberation of their sinful husband and the shelter of the Supreme Lord, the giver of ultimate shelter, and thus they folded their hands in supplication and approached him. So, and the purport, Srila Vishnu Chakravarti says, Kaliya's wives offered respect to Sri Krishna by paying obeisance on the ground. It is understood that in Kaliya's lake there was an island where Kaliya held Krishna in his coils. The inhabitants of Braja could see this. The wives placed their children before them to invoke Krishna's compassion. And Sanatana Goswami Brihad Vaishnava Dosani says that the wives felt in their hearts that Krishna was the Lord of all living beings, Bhutapatim, since they had surrendered to him. They desired that he free Kaliya from sin. Genitive has the meaning of ablative. Why? They were his wives, or they were filled with bhakti for Krishna. Therefore, it is proper that Krishna gave them special mercy. They surrendered to Krishna, who could grant the shelter of the lake, of that lake. Otherwise, they couldn't reside in Vrindavan, or he is the source of all protection. They surrendered to him in order to gain protection, which could only be given by him. They surrendered to him, crying painfully, "Please protect us." Or they took shelter of Krishna, who was the protector from all disasters, by reciting praises. The true meaning is this: though Kaliya was an offender, having done violence to the inhabitants of Vrindavan, his wives were devotees, surrendered to Krishna, having desired to kiss him. Is the Lord. In this connection, I may say that when you are hearing 10th canto Bhagavatam, you are getting kisses of the Lord. As stated by Srila Prabhupada Maharaj. So in this way we see from 33 to 53, the 21 verses, Nagapatnis will offer prayers. Siddha Swami summarizes it that in 5 verses they anumodan, they support this punishment. Then in 10 verses they pray to the Lord. Then in 6 verses they will appeal for help rescuing their husband. In these 21 verses are there. Siddha Swami has summarized this in this way, these 21 verses. But I do not have to go through, read these verses, because already we have a list, prayers of all these Nagapatni's prayers. But in this connection, I would like to say this much that sorry, this the Nagapatnis, they were praying to the Lord. This is being quoted by others. At least I will speak one verse in this connection, that this one of the prayers is like this: Kasyanubhavasya nadav vidmahe tabangri renu swarsadikara jadvanchya si lalana charatapo vihaya kaman suchiram dhritavata. The Nagapatni, they were glorifying the lotus feet of the Lord. So the Lord says, what is there in my lotus feet? So in that context, these Nagapatni say this verse, prayer. I don't understand. They say, we don't understand how you gave so much mercy to the Lord, to our husband. Because to get that, to get the blessings of these 4 feet, the Lord's feet, this Lalana, means Lakshmi Devi, is now still praying in Bilovana, that is a place. Lakshmi Devi is still praying, and the Lord has not super granted, is her prayer. But the Lord is so much merciful that the Lord grants his foot, dust of his foot on the Kaliya. So this verse is very important, recited many times. So anyway, thank you very much for listening to the lecture, and please don't forget to subscribe, share, and like on channel and get the blessings of the Lord. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.